introduce myself. My name is Cheryl Tolentino, and I am the Supervising Prevention Consultant for NJ4S Union Hub. In honor of Earth Day, we have a great presentation called Blossom and Bloom regarding how our relationship with nature can help benefit our mental health. And today's presentation will be presented by our own prevention consultant, Jeancy Salomon, whom I'm hoping that you have heard her previous presentations early on this year. She will provide you an engaging and informative presentation, so please stand by for that. But let me tell you a little bit about her if you are not familiar with her. Jeancy is a passionate individual with a master's in public health and a bachelor's in health science. Her journey through education was complemented by diverse experiences. She once graced the cheerleading squad, danced her way through performances, and sprinted on the track and field. College life wasn't just about academics for her. She dedicated a significant part of her time to the Brooklyn school community, where she found fulfillment as a counselor. Additionally, her internship at Manades Hospital, I apologize if I butchered that name, where she served as a secretary for Nursing Excellence and the Rehabilitation Center for Physical Therapy, further enriched her understanding of healthcare. She's known for her kindness, multi-talented nature, and a contagious funny laugh. Exploring new things, be it activities or cuisines, brings her immense joy. Whether it's a run on the track or a commitment to giving back, she's here for the long run, embracing life's adventure with an open heart and a determined spirit. Without further ado, I will hand it over to Jeancy for her presentation on Blossom and Bloom.
Thank you, Cheryl. Hope everyone's having a great Monday. So I said before, it's Earth Day, so our main focus today will be focused on nature and how nature plays a huge role amongst our personal growth, our mental health, which is what NJ4S is here for. We're here to focus on how things around us play a positive effect and a positive role on our mental health. So I labeled my presentation as Blossom and Bloom. Can everyone see my presentation? Can't see that. Are we good to go, everyone? Good? Okay, so I labeled it as Blossom and Bloom. And you know, when you see a flower, when it's first growing, it's obviously like a little seed or a little plant, and it eventually grows into what it's supposed to look like. And I feel like that was a great connection in regards to us as personal growth. We well, whether it's mental or physically, we start off small, we don't know much, and then we end up growing and sprouting into the person that we're meant to be, whether it's positive aspects, negative aspects, but the whole purpose of life is to grow and to become better. So we'll be exploring the connection between nature and personal growth and how it basically builds us in a rich understanding of how nature aids us. It could be metaphorically or it could be literally. So this is what we'll be really getting in touch to. So our table of contents will be mentioning the seasons of life. Not many people understand how each season of what we go through has a great impact on how we live our day-to-day. It sets the mood, it sets the tones and goals, whether you pay attention to them physically, but like when you're in the present moment, you could really start to understand on how we're always thinking about new things. We're always trying to reach new goals, whether it's 2 months, 3 months, but they all apply to different seasons because we feel like a different person, and weather plays a huge role because I know during winter time, we're like sleepy, we're drowsy, we don't want to do anything. So we'll be focusing on what intentions you should be setting for each season. We'll also be focusing on mindfulness and presence on how to stay in the present moment. I know a lot of us may have the tendency to get anxious on whether or not we're setting our goals to whatever age range. I know I'm 24. As a kid, I thought I had so much mapped out for 24, but life is also very humbling, and it just showed me that like what we may have planned as a child may not be the our purpose. Like we eventually figure ourselves out when as we grow up, and we also will be discussing the cycles of renewal. So before we get started, I would like to ask, like, what are some hobbies or activities that you guys like to do in nature?
I like to have picnics and go on hikes.
I love food.
I like swimming.
Swimming is nice. I know depending on my hair, I will not go swimming. Anyone else?
I like bird watching.
Bird watching is nice. Last person. Okay. Well, moving on. Like we said, we'll be touching base on seasons of life. So, as we know, spring is now here. Spring is my favorite season. I'm a spring baby. My birthday's in a few days, just FYI. If you guys plan on giving out gifts. So spring is meant for new beginnings and planting seeds of potential. So a lot of things really happen during spring. I know we're all older. I know some of us are still in school. So spring is usually like the moment where a lot of us graduate or we're ending a semester, or a lot of us are thinking about branching out into new jobs or like building a new hobby for ourselves. So these are setting tones for new beginnings. So we're graduating. What do we usually look for after we're graduating? We're looking for new jobs. We're trying to get in there. We're trying to get our feet wet. We're ready. Springtime, I would say it's closer to the summertime. So a lot of us are making plans for what we're going to do in summertime. We're booking vacations. We're telling our friends like, hey, you better get ready. Like it's getting warm outside. We're buying new clothes. So, and in regards to spring, when spring is over, we're stepping into summer. This is growth. This is when you're having fun with your friend. Like we said, some of us like to bird watch, we like to go swimming, we like to have picnics. We can't do a lot of these things in the wintertime. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm not sitting in the park in the cold picnicking. So this is for like summer activities. And fall, you're like harvesting things. Like this is when it starts to get a little cooler. So things start to mellow out, tone out, and you're just reflecting on everything you've done during the spring, during the summertime, and how you could apply these new learning skills or tactics to what's about to come for the winter. And winter is in more regards to like resting and restoring or reflecting. I don't know if you guys like feel your moods on how your moods shift during depending on the seasons. Like I know during the winter time I'm more of a mellow person. I'm hibernating. That's my form of resting and restoring. So I'm hibernating. I'm not out as much. I'm saving my money. I'm still like doing the activities I would do in spring, but it's not as outgoing. It's more of a reflecting stage. So we'll be speaking about mindfulness and present. Does anybody have the tendency to either think too much in the past to where we're like, dang, I wish I didn't do this, or like, if I did things differently, then I would be here? Or do we have the tendency to think so far out into the future that we can't enjoy what we've been wanting to have during the present moment?
Mm-hmm. I would definitely say it's like for me a mixture of both. Like I'm like, oh, I could have said that, I could have done that, but then I'm like, what am I gonna do this like next week, or like I have to do this? Like it's definitely just like, you know, a mixture of both mentalities of like, is it coming up or is it not?
Like to share? Okay. So basically, we're practicing mindfulness. Like it's a form of grounding. It keeps us within the present moment so we won't build anxiety. So anxiety is usually stems from worriness or like confusion or being overwhelmed. And we're usually overwhelmed because we're not focused on our positive values within the moment. So we may not have the salary that we want during this present moment, but we are where we've always been raging about college. Like, oh, I want to work in mental health. I want to like have great coworkers, or I want to have a certain body during this time. So I feel like a lot of us don't focus on the little things. The little things play a huge role. It doesn't always have to be grand gestures. So like when we're in nature, I'm not sure for those who have allergies. I know I have allergies, but I still take the time out to walk. It like reduces my stress levels. So what I was thinking about constantly, it's no longer there. So it's like a stress reduction. It helps your overall well-being. It's like some how do I explain this? For instance, I know Ben, you said you like to bird watch. How calm is your brain like during that present moment? Like, do you honestly think that you're thinking about everything that you've been thinking about during work? Like, did I send that email? Did I get this PowerPoint email? Like, yeah, it's like a soothing sensation. You're focused on the present moment. You're watching the birds. You're actually playing, like, involved, like, you're in the present moment, basically. Like, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of that, I think something that I find important about bird watching is how I utilize my senses to hone in on what's around me rather than what's my thoughts on the inside. You know, we have the five senses technique, and you're really able to kind of like hone in on your own senses. And that kind of helps me kind of figure out where my target is, so to speak. So yeah, I would definitely agree with that, Jeancy.
It recenters you, definitely. So interconnectedness, a great way to build relationships and connections through the universe is by going outside. Whether it's grabbing lunch, whether it's taking a walk, hiking, bike riding, it helps plays a huge role on the mental health. It gives us a refresher. It helps like the human actions and the impact on the environment, society, and like future generations. So for instance, we're considered the millennials. So the way we go about our childhoods and our day-to-day are different from Gen Z's. I know my younger cousin, for instance, she doesn't really like going outside. And I had a childhood where I built my connections with my friends by going outside, by learning how to bike ride, by playing kickball, baseball. So a lot of the things that we did as children were at home, outside activities. It wasn't on the phone 24/7 or like TikTok or Instagram. We actually had to take that leap to step out there to build these mental connections. And a lot of these connections were outside. So we had to go outside and meet new people. It wasn't just a quick add or follow. We had to go find these people, build these connections for ourselves. And it helped play like a huge role on how we got to understand people personally. Because on social media, it's very easy to build this certain persona. It's very easy to give their perception that I am an outgoing person. In all reality, I get social anxiety when I'm around too many people. So I would definitely say if you want to build new connections, to go out there. Your friend might be at the grocery store. Your friend might be at the library. So like we won't always know until we get ourselves out there. So this is a perfect example. The other day, as you can see, this is me, Karen, Jen, and Natalie. We went on break and we were like, let's just go to the park. And it was so fun because like it got us in tune to our childlike activities. So like we were obviously all losing our mind on these little games that we played as kids. Were we tired? I was exhausted. I didn't even realize how much energy kids put into this. This makes perfect sense as to why they always want to nap after they go chaotic. But it kind of gave us like a stress relief. Like, yes, we work and yes, we love what we do, but sometimes you need a reset button. And that reset button for us was literally just going down the street at the park and acting like kids. And then we got back in, we clocked in, and we got right back to our regular duties. So take that time out to do what you love to do as a kid. I honestly forgot about going to parks. Like usually now parks are a little different. We don't have the amusement effects. Like we got on the swings and stuff like that. It just felt like we were children all over again. So definitely soothe your inner child. So mindfulness, like I said before, it helps focus and concentrate on your cognitive functions. So it helps enhance productivity, creativity, and your overall performance in like life in general. It helps to keep you centered and focused. Your communication levels are like 10 times better. I feel like sun plays a huge role. Vitamin D plays a huge role in your relationships, your personal goals. It lifts a lens over. So it helps like, okay, I don't have 20/20 vision, so this is kind of like me being funny about it. So these, I would say, are like my lenses. And the moment I step outside and I get to be around just fresh air, just having sun and just having like genuine relationships around me, I feel better. Like all the stress that I had prior is just gone. This is my video. Hold on, let me check if the sound is on. Can you guys just give me a thumbs up if you hear it? Video. It was basically supposed to emphasize the statistical benefits of just being outside, regardless of whether or not it's, just giving you some fresh air, but it plays a huge role on your mental health. I'm trying to expand this. So we'll be discussing the cycles of renewals. Like we got into the activities we should be doing outside and who we should be doing them with and how it plays a huge role on being interconnectedness, balancing who you are to the core and staying grounded and basically channeling your inner child. So we'll be talking about the things you should be doing after that, like after you know, act like a child for 30 good minutes. Like what do you do afterwards? And what you do afterwards is embrace it. So you're staying in the present moment, and the purpose is to figure out how your mood shifts. How do you feel now? Do you feel happier? Do you feel flexible? Do you feel like you now have the energy to be creative? Like, I don't know if anybody is trying to be like an influencer or anything, but like if you're always feeling stagnant in a certain activity that you want to do, one thing you can do is just take a walk. It gives you an open refresher. So it helps you give you a new perspective on different angles you can look through. It gives you better insight and how new ideas. Sometimes you need to step outside of the box, whether it is taking a nap or going outside. It has like nature plays a huge role on keeping an open mind. It helps you become adaptable. It gives you self-reflection and learning growth. If you're a journaler, I would say a great way to open up your feelings and just get some positive insight would be going to the park, sitting at a table, writing down your emotions. And it also keeps you resilient. I know sometimes when we go through something traumatic, it's always, oh, this is my fault, or I could have done this better. In our reality, we need to be thinking about how we made it out and how it wasn't as bad as our mind creates something to be. The whole purpose is to be resilient, and we could apply what we have learned to make better choices in the future. We may be getting older, but this is not the end of the road. So we have plenty of chances to make mistakes, and we all also have plenty of chances to rewrite them. So adaptation and resilience, I said before, this is a great key to being to growing, personal growth of yourself. It helps you learn from setbacks. Not everything is a traumatic setback. It may be just a reset button, because I know the path that we chose for ourselves as kids may not be the same thing as we are as an adult. I don't know everybody's faith, but I know I believe in God. So as a child, you don't really understand how He has His own plan for us. Or, He has His own plan. We all have our own purpose. We may think our purpose may be me, for instance. I thought it was going to be Beyonce. Maybe then let me be a Beyonce, you know? So, but I'm here now. I'm here in mental health and I love my job. Like I can tell you that much. I love my job. I learned so much. It gives me an opportunity and chance to give like insight to children. Like, cause I know I didn't have an NJ4S going around in my school telling me what are some positive things I could do for myself or like catch me at an age to where it's not too late. So I'm not in college, you know, trying to rewrite something. I didn't know a lot of things until I got to college. So now children around us now get the opportunity to learn from mistakes before it could even happen. They're 10 years old getting like 24-year-old advice. And some of them may take it and some of them may not take it, but I know I'm in a position to where I can help. So what are some setbacks or challenges you've experienced during any season that you feel like has led to personal growth?
I think for me, in the cooler seasons like fall and winter, as a youth, I really struggled with symptoms of depression. And I think as I got older, I learned that with the changing of the leaves and the seasons, that I needed to implement something to help me with that. And so, like, that's when I think kids are most ready, or at least I hope they would be ready to try and do something different, because I personally would use the sad lamps to kind of help build that vitamins D that they were talking about from the sunlight, or get a hobby.
I agree.
For me, it was pretty recently, like when you'd start work and it would almost be like dark outside, and then you get out of work and it'd be dark outside again, and like I'd be like, oh my gosh, the whole day is over. Like this is, it quickly becomes like you feel like you're. I mean, of course, everybody, we have to work, we have to do our jobs and stuff, but it feels like you're almost like wasting time, and you're
not experiencing that sunlight.
Oh yeah, no, you're not experiencing the sunlight, and that's like a huge motivator and stuff. So I think it's nice. Your idea of taking a break, going outside, maybe on your lunch break, going outside, all really good stuff. But during those winter months, I definitely get like a little bit more down on myself, and the depression can start to find its way in a little bit easier without that sunlight and being outside and stuff like that.
That's seasonal depression. A lot of people don't know that seasonal depression is a thing. It doesn't always have to be chronic depression. It literally kicks in during the wintertime because we're not experiencing that excessive vitamin D levels that we all need to stay happy.
So for me, I don't know if anyone can relate, but like during the winter, there's nothing to do. There's a lot to do, but I get so complacent and I start just snacking and eating and just not getting exercise and not being as active as you would be in like the spring and summer. So now that the weather is kind of breaking and getting a little bit warmer, I can kind of get a little bit more active, be outdoors a little bit more than I want, more than usual, and be able to kind of moderate certain habits that you develop over the winter.
Yes, I know I love a good hot cocoa during the winter time. Like I don't leave my bed. As soon as I get home, I take a shower and I get in bed. Like there's nothing to do and I don't want to leave the house. Anyone else like to share?
Yeah, I can go. Seasonal depression, definitely, I think, especially in New Jersey where the winters are so dark and gloomy and brutal and long for some reason. I feel like they're like 9 months long. But I also have some issue in the fall sometimes. I actually love the fall, but when I was younger, I had a lot of anxiety associated with school, and just like the monotony of like having to go to school every day and sit there every day and in the classes every day, the same classes. I didn't have block scheduling or anything, the same classes every single day. Really like affected me. So like when the fall was coming around, I had this like weird like split like anxiety, but because I loved fall. I still love fall, but I hated school so much. So it was weird. So now like during the fall, I just try to like embrace it. Like I try to just enjoy pumpkin picking and things like that. But yeah, I think that definitely like that was a setback for me, like that anxiety associated with school.
That's actually crazy because I felt the same way. I felt like school meant it's an ending. There's no more fun time with your friends. We can't run around or like, let's go to happy hour. Like, it was just none of that. It got like very serious, like very quickly. Anyone else? Last person? Thank you for that. So just to add in some statistics to verify what I'm saying about how going outside plays a huge role in your mental health. There are some participants in the UK. There was a study out here too, but it wasn't as broad as this one. So I like how when they did this study, it was over 400,000 people. So it gives you a lot of different perspectives on how the seasons play a huge role on each individual, because I know we're all different here. It's only 20 of us. So 20 of us could agree about a lot of certain things, but when you have a bigger population, you get more insight. So the purpose of the study was to see how nature played a positive effect on one's lifestyle. So the results shown that the more hours spent in daylight, whether it was wintertime or summertime, as long as you got the needed levels of sunlight, and that all depends on your complexion. Yes, race goes into play. So the lighter you are, the less time you need in the sunlight, and the dark you are, the more time that you need in there. And these played more of a role in association to like less frequent tiredness. So you weren't as tired, because I know I have low iron, but like if I take my vitamin D pills or some magnesium, I'm like up and jumping around here. It was easier getting up for those who were spending time in the sunlight, and they had fewer insomnia symptoms, and they were also had higher levels of reported happiness. So some of the positive roles that outside activity plays is all neurological. So your growth and maintenance of nerve cells, they strengthen also your memory, which is short-term and long-term learning abilities. It's enhanced regulation of cognitive and emotional responses. So you kind of step out your comfort zone. Like it gets you moving, it gets you grooving. I said before, like in the wintertime, you kind of want to chill, you want to relax, you want to stay in bed. But the moment you're outside and you feel like there's like a ease in temperature, and like the time change isn't affecting how we get off of work, and it's just like, okay, the sun is down. Do I really want to go to the gym? Like the sun is down. Do I really want to go bird feeding? It's just like it plays a completely different role in your mindset and your physical aspect and motivation levels. And it's also improved learning for those who like to journal and like to read. If you do it outside, it gives you more of a chance, as I said before, because it strengthens your memory levels. It gives you more of a chance to learn, like your learning intentions improve. So I don't know if people really notice that. I think you should try it. You'll see a difference about like studying habits. I know when I was in college, I would also always go outside instead of staying in the commons, because I kind of felt like locked in the box. So when I would like literally and physically go outside, I felt like, I don't know, my brain just had all this free space, whether it was like looking around or like the peacefulness. It's so quiet outside, and it's like a brain stimulant to it. Some exercises, if you don't have any that scientists and I would recommend, is hiking. Hiking is great for physical aspects. It keeps the heart racing, the blood flowing, and you get a very nice view after you reach the peak of where you're at. Swimming, if you're a swimmer, I think you should take swimming classes. We're at that age to where everyone should learn how to swim. The YMCA actually gives free swimming classes. Swimming actually helps. It's actually very relaxing for those who enjoy swimming. Gardening, if you're into plants. I just got into plants because, like I said before, I'm a spring baby. All elements of spring are defined in nature, so it wouldn't even make sense for me as a spring baby to not know how to garden. Get it? You guys get it? So I would definitely say get into gardening. It's very peaceful. It shuts down the mind. I don't know if everybody else feels this way, but my mind is always racing like at 20 miles per hour. Like I'm already doing things that I don't even need to be doing in 2 weeks. So that helps. Walking is also very soothing if you feel like you're overwhelmed. just put the phone down, go outside, or if you like listening to music, you can listen to music while walking. That also helps. Yoga calms the body. Cycling, if you remember when we used to ride bikes, it's just so thrilling to get that. Cycling, you could do a cycling class. Jogging, if you are a runner, by all means, take that jog. Journaling, go outside and journal, not just at home. Sometimes it's nice to sit in some very nice scenery where it's just peaceful to see how society is still living. And we all should stay in the present moment, because I know we all have our moments to where we don't always want to be around people. But sometimes it's nice to play the back seat in the car, and like in the car, you know, you just want to look, like, even if you're in the car, just look outside the window instead of scrolling through your phone. Like, see what's going on, like look at your surroundings. And meditation is also a great way to stay focused on your energy and the universe. So I know I said like all these activities that we should do during the present moment, but I also say do not forget to rest. We all need to rest. So it plays a huge role on your physical health and your mental health, emotional well-being, and your relationships. I don't know about everybody else, but I know if I don't get my 8 hours, I'm a grouch. And that's what it is. But it's no one else's fault, but it's because my mind hasn't reached the peak to where I feel like I'm rested. Why I keep well rested. So it allows the body to recharge for the physical health. If you're someone who goes to the gym, you really don't see results until you sleep. Your glutes grow while you're sleeping. Your muscles expand while you're sleeping. So you need that rest. Your mental health, anxiety, I don't know for everyone else, but anxiety, sometimes you just need to take a deep breath. You need to rest your physical body. You need to rest your brain. Like, just sleep. Take those hours of sleep, whether it's recharging yourself by putting your phone down, whether it's recharging yourself by writing a journal. And your emotional well-being too. If you're antsy, if you're not someone who knows how to effectively process your emotions, sometimes you just need to take a nap and get to it tomorrow. Not everything needs to be solved in the present moment, especially if you don't have a solution right there and then, or the proper words to target that situation. Just put a pin in it, and tomorrow you'll resolve the situation. And relationships too. A lot of relationships end because of form of communication. So I know we don't want to have friends or be in relationships to where someone can't take the time out to process their emotions or how they communicate to you. We want someone to speak to us like we're respected human beings. I know we all have our bad days, but sometimes it's hard to solve a solution when somebody's yelling at you. We're not children, we're all adults, and we would like to be spoken to like that. So some grounding techniques I would suggest we all do is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. So the example would be, we're starting off at 5, you focus on 5 things that you see. So 5 things could be anything. It could be someone's hair, it could be your laptop, it could be your laptop dying, but you need to focus on present things that you see within that moment. 4 would be focus on 4 things you feel in the moment. Are you hungry? Are you antsy? Are you angry? 3 would be 3 things that you hear. Do you hear any humming sounds? Do you hear somebody chewing gum? Do you hear your phone vibrating? And 2 would be 2 things that you smell. Do you smell your perfume? Do you smell somebody else's perfume? Do you smell like something's burning? And 1 would be taste. What are you tasting? And you taking these steps to do so is helping you stay grounded in the present moment, helping you realize what's going on in your present moment instead of thinking about anything that's going on in the past or anything that you need to do in the future. It keeps you present. So the overall purpose of my personal Blossom and Blooming assignment was to help people stay grounded in the present moment. Today is Earth Day. I don't know if you guys noticed, Earth Day plays a huge role in our day-to-day. So I would definitely advise people to go outside during their break. If you're working from home, sit on the porch. Just be that nosy neighbor. See what your neighbors have going on. Get some tea outside. Walk to the store. If you have a park nearby, for those who are in office, there are plenty of parks in Kenilworth.
Sorry about that. There's some technical difficulties, but hopefully everyone was able to get the gist of what Jeancy wanted to say. Jeancy, do you have any further information you want to tell them?
Yeah, sorry guys. So some further information I would like to say, I said before, because it's Earth Day, I ask that everyone take the time to go outside, take a journal and notebook with you. And for each season, I want you to write a goal that you would like to target. It doesn't have to be done by the end of this year, but it has to be something that you would like to achieve for your personal self. So as I said before, it's spring. So write down a spring goal that you would like to accomplish before summertime. When it's summertime, write down a goal that you would like to accomplish for summer, and write down a goal you'd like to accomplish for fall, and so on and so on. And the purpose is to achieve our personal goals as someone who's in their 20s or who's in their 30s and who feels like I haven't accomplished everything that I would like to see around this time. So it would help break down, some personal goals that we would like to see. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It could be something so simple as like learning a new hobby, or like getting in the habit of drinking tea in the morning. It takes 30 days to build a positive habit, and it takes 30 days to break a bad habit. So we have plenty of time before the summertime before we target our spring goal. So let's get to it during this Earth Day. So that's all I have to say. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties, guys.